Hi guys, thanks for watching. I'm Saumya and I am back with another video. So today's video is going to be a September wrap up and an October TBR. So if you are a book lover, then you should definitely subscribe to my channel Saumya'sbookstation, as on this channel I make loads of bookish content. If you like this video, do not forget to give this a thumbs up and also share it, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. So this video is going to go up a little later than usual because I am filming it a little later than usual, but now that I've started, I'm very happy to be finally talking about the books that I read in September and the ones that I plan to read in October. I was able to read only 3 books completely in September. I could not read more than that, although I did start 2-3 other books and I did make progress, but I couldn't complete them, so won't include them in today's video. And then I'm going to be talking about my October TBR, the books that I plan to read in October. In that also I'll be talking about 3 books because my October is really going to be very busy as my September was. Let me know in the comments how your reading life is going or how your life is going in general. My reading life is going okay. It could be better, but I'm not dissatisfied. Also, my life in general is going very hectic. So let's get started. I'll start with my September wrap-up. The first book that I read in September was As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. So I read this one on my Kindle and it had around 50 pages only. It was very concise yet full of wisdom. This one is a self-help book and non-fiction, and if you feel that self-help books can be boring, because they do tend to get boring sometimes, that is not an issue with this one. And in the short amount of time that you spend on reading this book, you get so much to take from it. It basically talks about how your thinking can affect your life, so you should be positive, and it also talks about general rules of living your life. It is the kind of book that gives you a lot of hope. The next one is You Are a Star by A.R. Dara. So this story is taking place in the Bombay of 1990s, and it's a story that revolves mostly around Bollywood. It talks about the big shots and the powerful people of Bollywood. It talks about the people struggling to enter Bollywood, like struggling actors, directors and writers. So basically, on the whole, this is a story that talks about the power games going on between the rich and the powerful, and it also talks about the struggles of those who are aspiring to make their place in the film industry. So this story handles a lot of issues like nepotism, casting couch. It also has a lot of characters from the Anglo-Indian community. The story on the whole is very fast-paced. It doesn't let the reader get bored. There were points in the book that were more engaging than the others. So I will say that I had a mixed sort of an experience while reading this book. If you want to know more about this book in detail, then you can check out my full review video of this book. The link for that will be in the description box. The next book is Persuasion by Jane Austen. So this is a book that I had been meaning to read since 2017, and I finally read it after over 2 years and I loved it. Well, these are the side effects of having an overwhelming TBR. So what if I read only 3 books in September? I read one of the books that I had been meaning to read since so long. So Persuasion is the story of a 27-year-old Anne Elliot, and she has no prospects of getting married. But 8 years ago, she was in love with and engaged with this young naval captain. But for some reason or the other, their engagement broke off and he left. And now 8 years later he returns. I literally savored this book, although it was one of the shorter books by Jane Austen, but I took my time with this one and I loved every bit of it. Now moving on to my October TBR, the first book is River of Smoke by Amitav Ghosh. This one got carried forward from September and now I'm reading it in October. This is the second book in the IB's trilogy by Amitav Ghosh. The first book, Sea of Poppies, took a lot of my time because of how immense the story was, but I absolutely loved that book. The same thing is happening in case of River of Smoke. It's taking a lot of my time. So since this is the second book in the trilogy, the story in this book is moving forward from where it was left in Sea of Poppies. So in this book I have noticed that the story gets fast forwarded to a distant future, but then it comes back in time, then it goes back to the future, then it comes back to the past. So that is what is happening so far in this book. With the kind of time and schedule that I have in October, I think this one is going to take a good part of my October, but I am not at all disappointed about that. The next book is That Thing About You by Abhay Dev. Now Abhay Dev is the pen name of the author who has written this book. His actual name is Mayank Channa. So this one is a review copy, so you can expect the review of this book very soon on my channel. Also, I have started reading this book. I am into 30 pages so far. So it's a story about an IT employee named Subodh, who's a 27-year-old guy. Most of his colleagues feel that he is quite immature because he expresses his feelings very spontaneously, but he doesn't really care about their opinions. But one day when the girl he loves expresses the same opinion about him, he is heartbroken. That Thing About You is a story about the unexpected events that take place in Subodh's life post his heartbreak. As it says on the back, That Thing About You is an uncommon story of a common man rejected in love. The next book is 100 Poems Are Not Enough. So this is a collection of poems. I had gotten this book in January from the Delhi World Book Fair. I also showed this one in my book fair haul. Some poems are on love, some are on emotions, some are basically social commentaries. So you see a wide variety of poems, and I have read a few poems from this book here and there, and some of the poems that I really liked I also shared in my Instagram stories from time to time, and a lot of people also seemed to love those poems. So I really want to just read all of this book this month. I'll read 2-3 poems every day, and that's how I plan to go about reading this one. So that's it, my super short September wrap up and my super short October TBR. Now honestly, I really am hoping that I'll be reading much more than 3 books in October, but I'm being conservative, so that's why I talked about only 3 books. So that was it for today's video. Let me know, as I asked in the beginning, how is your reading progress going? How is your life going in the comments? I'll look forward to your comments. That's it for today's video. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.